a quote. She said that poor minds talk about other people, average minds talk about events, but great minds talk about ideas. Welcome to the Take On Everything podcast.
What's up, everybody? I think we're live for the first time ever. For the first time ever, I think we are.
I don't think we are.
Or not?
Maybe we are. Oh, we are. There it is.
We are
wow,
live.
That's
We're
crazy.
absolutely here.
Wow, I feel like it's official. It
is
watching
official.
myself in real life.
We did
Hi
this.
everyone. I'm Princess Rivula on the internet. And we're night drinking now, so that's pretty cool.
We're at that stage.
Yeah, like you start with morning drinking, move to the afternoon, goes into the evening, now it's night. The point is never stop drinking because then the memories come back, you know?
That is good life advice, if you ask me.
It's it's the best I can do, especially with like everything that's going on in the world. Jeez Louise, I can't.
We have
quite the roster.
We really do, which is kind of, great for people like us that want to talk about these things. Not so great for everybody that actually has to live through this whole thing. So what do we have on the list to talk about tonight?
So we have, hold on, I'm trying to share the screen.
Oh yeah, no, definitely share it up.
What do we have? So we have AOC raising money for Texas. I think she did $3.2 million, which like
I saw the updated is 4.7.
4.7.
So
there's nothing this girl can't do.
Let's give the background to this, okay? So apparently Texas, right, had some kind of snowstorm. I heard something about it. And then so their senator, Ted Cruz, right, decided to take a little vacation during this little tiny snowstorm that they had. You know, it wasn't too big. He just wanted to get to Cancun and relax for a little bit. So he decides to go to Cancun while everyone has no power. And then apparently, I don't know, I guess I'm assuming that from the beach, he called AOC and was like, hey, I'm going to call in sick. I'm not feeling too good. Do you mind taking over Texas for me? And so I don't usually give compliments to AOC, but like she raised $4.7 million and is on the ground in Texas handing stuff out to people. Like, you know, I'm just saying, good for her.
You guys know how I feel about AOC, okay? I've been very vocal about my disdain for this woman, but give credit where credit's due, okay? Like she was packing sack lunches, she raised money, she was there when they needed her, and it's like, on one hand, that's awesome because these people really did need the help. But on the other hand, this is the same woman that did a photo op in like a parking lot to show how awful it is for kids. So we have to also take into account that this is not, she's a fucking moron, but she's no idiot. And she knows exactly what she's doing. If she wants a bid for president or a higher seat in office, she's going to have to get the people on her side. And when she's doing stuff for people like she is, when she has something big to ask, like an election, she gets to point all the wonderful things she's done. So not only is it great for her that she was able to like come together and really stand up for her nation, which is libertarianism at its core. And I'm proud of her for being able to do that. I don't think it was altruistic. And maybe I'm just being a bitch because it was her. But also she gave a quote that charity is not a replacement for good governance. And I just want to say, yes, it is, sweetie. You're living proof of it.
Obviously,
the government has done nothing. You were there in a matter of minutes, raised millions of dollars. The government still hasn't stepped in. So
do you remember like 2 weeks ago, we did the show or 3 weeks ago at this point, the inauguration, right? Bernie Sanders, okay? Another socialist person. Apparently they're stepping up and becoming free market people because Bernie Sanders took that meme of a shirt, meme of whatever, him and his mittens, put it on a shirt, raised a ton of money, and gave it to like Meals on Wheels or something that like delivered meals to older folks.
Yeah.
And here is AOC a couple weeks later. Ted Cruz is on vacation, and she is raising $4.7 million at this point, and is on the ground in Texas handing stuff out. That is as free market and as libertarian as it gets, and she didn't use 1 ounce of government to do it. So she just proved her own point. So one,
like
props to her.
She's a moron, but she's no idiot. You know,
It's like a little fine line.
She doesn't know what she's doing. She like falls into happy accidents. But I applaud her and Ted Cruz because they're doing exactly what I want this nation to do. The government fucks off, and the people step in and take care of their own. And that's exactly what happened. And I think it serves Texas right that he fucked off, because like you get what you deserve, and that's who you elected. A coward, a fucking coward. If you're going to accept this role as a leader in a community and people have entrusted you to guide them, you should take that very fucking seriously, and you go down with your fucking ship. You don't ship yourself off to Mexico, okay, when you're being a piece of shit to the immigrants looking for a better life. Like, you're literally a dick. And it's like, why? I don't understand why all our officials are some like noodle dick, spineless assholes. Every last one of them, because if it's not Ted Cruz, if it's not Ted Cruz, it's Cuomo killing old people by shoving COVID patients in it and lying about it.
And that's our next topic, guys. So apparently, not only do we have Ted Cruz running off to Cancun in the middle of a freezing snowstorm when people don't have water or electricity and are freezing in their cars, and after that, in the same news cycle, we have AOC basically doing his job for him. And then we find out that Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, the guy that had been, saying he was ahead of this, he was criticizing all the other governors, criticizing, then President Trump for their lack of action and all this stuff. Apparently, he was sticking elderly folks that were testing COVID positive into old folks' homes, into nursing homes, which vulnerable population. More vulnerable population. What do you think's going to happen? And when he realized that he messed up, he didn't tell anybody. He told everybody on his staff, "You shut up, or else." I don't know the exact threats, but there's anecdotal quotes from his people that said that he essentially threatened them to not say anything about the numbers and to hide it until Joe Biden got in office, because he thought that Joe Biden would be more lenient. But it leaked out, and it's blowing up, as it should, because the politicians, when they get in there, they have these double standards, and they turn everything into a political weapon. He was pointing out everyone else that, quote unquote, screwed up and wasn't doing as much as he was. And come to find out, he is the worst performer out of the entire thing, and he will not fess up. This is not who you want as a governor. This is, I can't even fathom how. I don't even know exactly what to say about it, because I just can't. It blows my mind.
It didn't surprise me at all, because this seems very on brand for a man that would name a bridge after him. As governor, you get a bridge too, you fucking dick. Which is why, hold no punches. We're electing cowards. And methinks thou doth protest too much. And when he was talking shit about everyone else and look how great we're doing. And New York was a cesspool. It still is. Before COVID, it was a cesspool, but now it's just ugh. And it's I think killing all those old people was just his way of method acting to get his Emmy, of course, for all his wonderful work he did televising and gallivanting for COVID. And it's but that's exactly what people do when they fuck up and they're not in it for the right reasons. They're in it for job security and getting their name on bridges and having a blue check mark on Twitter and look at me, I'm the governor. But we allow you to do these awesome things and on taxpayer dime have these like lavish meals and helicopter rides, because when shit hits the fan, you're supposed to be leading us to like victory and safety or whatever the fuck. But like, what, you're gonna hide that shit because Biden would be more lenient? Like, he wouldn't know how to count the dead bodies? Like, oh, well, they were on their last leg anyway, so I guess I'll let this slide. More lenient? Leave me the fuck alone.
He just assumed Biden couldn't count. He's like, this guy obviously can't count. He doesn't know where he's at any given time. So we're just going to hold off.
Our last president couldn't read. So are you
mad?
we
really know how to pick our leaders here. Can't count, can't read. You know, hope killing old people slides, right under the rug.
Yeah,
because we wouldn't want anybody to know about that.
James, you haven't killed any old people yet? Like, gosh.
I'm going to wait till the next administration to admit to any wrongdoing there.
They might be more lenient. You're right. You're right.
They're probably going to be more lenient.
You're right.
And it'll be out of the news cycle at that point. So
hold off on your crimes.
Exactly. Then again, Cuomo was the guy. Remember when he like shut down, all of New York and said you can't travel and have Thanksgiving with your family, and then had Thanksgiving with his family, and I think there was 25 people at his small family Thanksgiving dinner.
He's an Italian. All for that. He's an Italian. Like, think about everyone that didn't get invited. So honestly, 25 people is small.
Have a point there.
But cultural. Also, think about everyone that like died that didn't get to go because he like shoved them in nursing homes and whatnot. Like, I don't know. I'm happy for him.
I'm happy for him. I mean, it gives us something to talk about. Which I guess I'm happy about that. I mean, you gotta make do with what you got. You know what I mean? Somebody's got to die for some content. I mean, it is what it is.
This is America, okay? Everything's a market, and just because I'm a hyena picking the bones of the poor people of this nation doesn't mean I don't have feelings and I can't sympathize with someone who made a little oopsie boo-boo and killed a bunch of old people, like, poor guy. Imagine if you were in office and you had his ego, okay, which is a heavy thing to lug around, like that man has 2 bridges named after him. Like, oh my goodness. Just like,
he's got a 2-bridge ego. That's pretty serious. That's like the measurement. Ego. That's how you measure how much of an ego you have.
Yeah, and then they'll tell you that he named it after his father. Like, shut the fuck up.
Definitely my dad. So because we have so much to talk about, apparently, so Joe Biden was trying to be a diplomat. He's saying he's going to reintroduce America to the world stage and diplomacy and talking to leaders and all this stuff. So apparently he had a call with President Xi of China. They talked about a whole bunch of stuff, buddy kind of. And apparently, the whole Uyghur genocide thing comes up. And for those of you that don't know, apparently, China's kind of they don't put up with a lot of different cultures. They're very like a monoculture for the most part. So the Uyghurs are basically Muslim Chinese, and the Chinese government doesn't really like them too much. They kind of stick to themselves. They have their own. They're kind of in like Western China in the mountain areas. And they think that those people are very dangerous. So what they did was, we've known about this for a couple of years, didn't quite know the severity of what was going on. There's been like slow, detailed leaks or whatever. But so the idea was re-education camps, which already sounds weird. Like, if anyone that knows any history at all, re-education camps sounds, I think I've heard that before in a couple bad scenarios. I can't quite place it, but that just doesn't sound right. So we've known about this a little bit, but the more we find out about it, the more it's like, it's a concentration camp. Like, they just misspelled education, and it's actually concentration camp.
That's why they're being re-educated.
Yes, this is your new life. You are no longer human. Learn and do work for us. So there's about 2 million, basically Muslim Chinese Uyghurs, and it's not easy to spell, honestly. Uigher, I think is how you spell it. I'm just doing it to catch myself. I'm hoping somebody jumps in the chat and be like, that's what? Actually how you spell it.
Are those letters? Like, what?
There are some letters in there and some just sounds, like guttural sounds or whatever. But anyways, so these people are in camps, right? And so Biden, he's talking to President Xi about it, and President Xi is like, well, see, we just have like different cultural opinions. You guys believe in freedom. we don't. So, let's just chalk it up to that. So when Biden was asked about their conversation, he kind of answered it and was like, well, we just have to understand that the Chinese have different, cultural norms than Americans do. And so essentially, as long as you can have concentration camps, you can have a genocide, some people are calling it, you can have, whatever you want to call it, as long as you say it's just a different cultural norm, like, let us do our thing, you guys do your thing. Apparently it's okay.
I think it's just mean-spirited that America continues to let Joe Biden be president, because that man should be in a nursing home, suckling on cough drops, not commenting on foreign policy, okay? Like, it's just mean that you're making him do this, and of course he's gonna fuck it up. But also, what does that mean, a different culture? Like, what culture is genocide? You mean German culture, or like maybe American culture, or maybe like Rwandan culture when they did a genocide then? Like, what the fuck do you mean a different cultural norm? This is like a crime against humanity. And like, I'm not even mad at Joe Biden because he's a piece of shit. But Germany said never again, okay? And they are allowing us to have kids in cages and people in China to be in a literal re-education camp genocide, okay? And like, I get it if it's never again for us, like we'll never do that again. But I think from history, we've seen that if you let somebody do that, they're eventually going to want to expand their brand, okay? So Germany, step up. Step it up.
Germany's of the opinion that like everyone has to do it at least once. Like you're not gonna know whether you like it, like whether it's part of your culture or not, unless you try it once at least. So they're like, all right, you get one
Every
time to be.
gets a genocide.
You get a genocide. Like sometimes if you're America, you have 2 or 3 just because you really want to test out the waters, But China's got to have at least one, right? So I think that's
plenty. They've had plenty. Okay, I took world history in high school. I know what's going on. They've had plenty, and like they should stop. They should stop. Like what? If you try something, they clearly like it. They clearly like it. Like, don't even say they're like dipping their toes in the art of genocide. They love doing that. And like, that's what it is. And don't tell me that that's Chinese culture, because I've experienced Chinese culture and it's fucking beautiful. It's not slaughtering other human beings because they think different. So this is just fucking ridiculous. The way that people are portraying cultures in the media in general, because this is like an example of a bigger problem that we're just going to allow to slip through the cracks. Like, there has been more attacks on Asian people that are racially charged since COVID came out. And it's brought to light that like there is racism beyond like the Black community. Like it's incessant in this nation. And the fact that we're going to let our president say that genocide is Chinese culture when the last president said that they have a Kung flu, like that's fucked up. That's fucked up, and that just shows where we are as a nation. And the Democrats aren't better. You're just as fucking racist, except you don't hear it because your brain is mashed potatoes. What's next?
Well, I mean, I I think we've knocked out like a lot of the big topics that we had. So I mean,
there it is.
We knocked out Ted Cruz, we knocked out AOC, we knocked out the Uyghurs, and the genocide, which is great. We knocked out Cuomo.
You know what? You don't know about this, so I'm just gonna like lay the framework. Do you know Chris D'Elia?
No.
Okay, Chris
D'Elia. Enlighten me.
He was one of my favorite comedians. Okay, was everybody, don't panic. He was one of my favorite comedians, but he got caught up in this scandal where he was soliciting underage girls for sex, allegedly. Okay, but like he cheated on his wife, whatever. It doesn't matter. But he went away for like ever, like months, and he came back 2 days ago and made like an apology video for his podcast. And it was like, when I first started watching it, I was like, fuck this man. He's canceled. Okay. But now I will see his next special before I cancel him. Because if the next special has like growth and development, because he said he's in therapy for his sex addiction, and he did acknowledge that he's in dehumanizing people when he just like goes on tour and sees how many people he can fuck. Like, that's really demeaning and trivial. Like, you know, he acknowledged it. I didn't see I saw ownership, I didn't see responsibility, you know. So like, what steps is he gonna take? And I just want to say that, like, I'm not canceling Chris, but he can't come back either. Not
There's
yet,
that weird like purgatory thing that you're gonna throw him in there. But you gotta earn it.
Probation. It's a probation. It's a probationary period. I better not hear nothing from no little kitties, because then I'm gonna throw you in a goddamn wood chipper. Okay, but I'll acknowledge.
We'll do it live here on the show, by the way.
Do it live. Just fucking do it live. But like, if he can come back with like growth and development and like maybe a change in his like act, you know, just like an evolution of character, I will welcome him back into like the comedy scene. But other than that, like, no, yeah.
I mean, he could just hire a really, really good PR person, and then we just really wouldn't know.
Oh no, we saw the emails. We saw the Snapchat. We saw his face when he found out you could save Snapchats, and that's how I know he's guilty. Okay, that's how I know he's guilty. Like, the life doesn't drain from your eyes when you find out. Wait a minute, you can save a photo. You could save a photo. Like, oh my God, that man was distraught. Okay, that's how I know he's guilty. But
you just missed it.
No, like, I don't know. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with Chris. And that's everything in the news cycle.
Well, there's one other thing that keeps floating around. The $15 minimum wage is trying to put into the new COVID relief.
Stop
plan.
it. Stop it. Stop trying to wreck the fucking economy. You guys don't know how dollars work, okay? Because it's a finite resource. And if everyone makes more money, everything's going to cost more, because you got to pay people more money to make the shit that you like. So if you would just like start a business, follow your passions, stop being taxed so fucking much, you wouldn't need a $15 minimum wage. Because think about it. Think about like how hard it is to get all the shit that you need when you're also paying for like an income tax and a gas tax and then state tax and then sin tax and then your cigarette tax. And like, come on. Before we like raise the wages, let's lower the taxes, you know? Let's like try new things. Stop it. Stop. Milk is going to be $18 fucking dollars. And then you're going to be like, wow, let's raise the minimum wage to 20. You don't get how economics work. And this is what happens when you let the Cuomos and the Cruzes of the world shove their dick in the government.
I think that pretty much sums it up, guys. That was Econ 101 for anybody that didn't know. But like, no, that's a serious concept, and I want to break it down just a little bit. That's my favorite thing in the world, pretty much, is economics. I love looking through everything from an economic lens. So, and what Princess said is very, very true. Everything's going to get more expensive. It'll temporarily relieve some disparities, but for a couple months, maybe. But what's going to happen is prices are going to go up. The CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, did a study based on, hypothetically, what if we actually did the minimum wage, $15 an hour? 1.3 million people would be above the poverty line that were below it before. That sounds great, right? If you read down a little bit further, 1.3 million jobs are going to be lost. Okay, so essentially, you're just taking all of that excess money from lots of people that are poor and transferring it to half of the people that are poor, and they're a little bit less poor now. But again, like you said, prices are going to be higher. So now you're going to have more unemployed people and higher prices, and so the people that are actually making more nominally, which means like number wise, they're not going to be able to buy as much. So the thing that I feel like a lot of politicians don't understand this, or maybe they do understand this and they think people are too stupid to understand it. There's a finite amount of resources or stuff you can buy at any given second, right? It's constantly increasing or decreasing, but at any given second, there's a finite range of the amount of actual physical goods, things you can eat, things you can buy, gasoline you can put in your car, or, whatever those things are. There's a finite amount of those things. If you just increase the number of dollars that are running around, you don't increase the number of things. So you can't actually buy more things relative to the rest of the other things in the economy unless you contribute more to the economy. So the way to actually make people richer is not to raise the nominal wage, right? It's actually to make more things go into the economy so that they're relatively cheaper for everyone. So that way, it really doesn't matter what the minimum wage is. It matters how much stuff is out there. So the more stuff that's out there, the cheaper it's going to be. And it doesn't really matter what the number is. So if you have more stuff, it's going to be cheaper. So $15 minimum wage is not going to solve the problem. It's just going to make it worse.
So what I think you're saying is we should open up the market.
I think that's the gist of it. I mean, or we could just raise the minimum wage to like $150 an hour and see what happens.
A million. Why stop
why
there?
stop?
Okay. This is nonsense. We're in nonsense government moot court kangaroo bullshit. Okay. Why stop there? $15, $1,500. Okay. And you get 2 paid vacations twice a year for 6 months. Go to Cabo. Don't even work. Lay down on the street and die. It's absolutely dumb. It's absolutely
You guys
dumb.
can go to vacation. You guys can go on vacation with Ted Cruz down in Cancun. You know, for that 6-month vacation and that $15 minimum wage increase, you're going to be living large.
Like the trade-off is you got to hang out with Ted Cruz.
That is true. I mean,
what if he tries to tell you a story? Skip to the end, Cruz. Every single time. He can't speak. He doesn't move me. I don't know.
How he became a politician is beyond me, because he doesn't strike me as inspirational or anything. Oh, by the way, back on him, since we're already back on him, have you seen, so since he got like absolutely dragged over the coals by the media and social media, have you seen his social media campaign to be like, no, I'm here now and I'm doing the same thing AOE.
The opportunistic dick, go back. Go the fuck. Oh, glad I could remind you that you were elected to like do a job and now you're going to come the fuck back. No, if you're going to commit, if you're going to be fucking awful, if you're going to be a piece of shit, you need to commit to your shittery wholeheartedly. Okay. Like you got to be that guy that left. That's it. That's the narrative. Cause that's what you did. You can't slink back. And now we're supposed to think you're a hero. Like, you wanted to leave. You don't want to be here. Don't come on my account just because the person I elected has to do a job all of a sudden. You think you can disappear. Like, glad I reminded you you were employed, fucker.
It's like you're supposed to have like, grandma's birthday, right? So everybody shows up and like everybody brings a gift. Everybody's around. They have the cake. They light the candles. They blow out the candles and they open up the gifts. And then you sneak in all fucking late as hell. And then you go in there, oh yeah, that cake was great. After the cake's all gone, you pretend you were there the entire time. It's bad because the ads and stuff that I was seeing are paid Facebook ads. So he had a scramble campaign last second. And I was reading an article earlier. Apparently, I guess his neighbor or somebody that was friends with his, their neighbor that was friends with him texted him, was like, hey, that's kind of screwed up that you're in Cancun or whatever. And so apparently then he immediately called a plane back and just went on this massive PR campaign. I don't know how.
See, it's not about the people. It's about job security. It's exactly what it was. It was like at that moment, that's why he became a politician, okay? Because he wanted to get paid a lot of money and do not fucking shit. Because for the most part, this country runs itself. It's not the government that keeps the streets paved. It's not the government that prosecutes murderers. It's like, though, it's people doing jobs for people because they care about it. And then he gets to sit pretty in his little fucking office and like suck his own knob, doing nothing. And like, I'm so fucking vulgar today. I don't know what it is. But then shit hits the fan and it's like, holy shit, you have a job to do and you run away. And then now I have to accept you back with open arms. You should have stayed there. Like if you're going to go to Cancun in the middle of a national disaster while people are freezing death in their homes, if you're going to take a vacation during that, you commit to your vacation and you better post pictures swimming with dolphins. You better be fucking awful about it because like what else are you going to do? Sit in a be miserable from your hotel room? No, you gotta commit. Like,
either you help like AOC did, or you commit to the vacation and it serves as a distraction. Like I don't even want to remember I'm in Texas, right? I want to see, like you said, dolphins. I want to see the beach. I want to see, you having a good time with your family. Don't be some kind of like, suck up like after the fact. Like I'm going to play catch up at the last second.
Got to remind you that you work for me. Oh my God. Like that's fucking embarrassing. It's like, no, do you know what that is? That's like going on lunch and just never coming back. Never coming back. Now your boss got to call you. Hey, you have a shift to complete. Absolutely
but like also
stupid.
not clocking out. not clocking out too, by the way. Just like still getting paid because he's still getting paid.
You know, AOC is gonna turn into that. Like right now, she's bright-eyed, bushy-tail, but then like she's gonna realize that she's making everyone else look bad, and they're gonna ask her to play ball, you know, and she's gonna do it. She's gonna do it because like in a couple years she became a millionaire. Like she's gonna do it. She's gonna play fucking ball, have $20 million, not give a damn about nobody, and that's when the fun starts. Okay,
Yeah,
because that's when you can show people you don't need the government.
she is a political opportunist. Like she's very, very good. She is very
She
good. The
is
fact
a
that she hopped on that Texas thing is prime like media real estate. Like she knew the timing. She hopped on there and
just, oh my God, like it was a perfect PR move. It was perfect because everyone was just calling her, like me in particular was calling her a selfish bitch for like worrying about her shoes while people died. And now people are freezing to death in their homes and she shows up with $5 million. Good for her. Good for
she's like,
her.
wait. Cruz is not in Texas.
Oh
I can
my
score mad points. I will dunk all over his ass if I just fly to Texas and
It's
get money
almost
from my millions of followers.
This is almost like an ex machina, you know? Like that's how just good for her. That was this event. There's blessings and curses, you know, and like this was her blessing and she got to like this will put her on the bid for president.
Absolutely. I'm going to chalk it up as a win. That is an absolute win, hands down, for the people of Texas, for AOC, who I generally do not like, but she gets points when she, you know, even if it's all for personal gain, she did a good thing, you know?
She did. You know, James, this was a good first stream. I think 30 minutes. I think 30
Yeah, no.
nails it.
We covered a lot of topics. And so, guys, thanks for joining in on our maiden voyage on live stream. Thanks for putting up with our technical difficulties. I started the stream late because, okay, here's a little personal thing about me. I have mini pigs, right? 3 of them, okay? They're very smart, and they get into a lot of stuff. So I went to the gym, right? And I was going to come home, get all set up, whatever. I got home, and they had knocked over my coat rack and had taken the coats. They like to make nests, right? So they took the coats and they strewed them all over the floor, made little nests, and got into, you know, all kinds of stuff in the pockets and whatever. So I was like 15 minutes late getting the stream started because I was trying to clean up and get everything straight. So little personal, you know, insight on me, but that's why the stream was late. So I'm sorry about the late stream, but I'm glad you guys dropped in. And so we'll be doing this every Monday, same time, right? I think that's the
Every
plan. We're
Monday.
gonna try to keep the schedule. We may be throwing some bonus episodes / interviews when we can, but it should be every Monday. We're gonna just do this live stream. So feel free to jump in, comment, interact, because yeah. So thanks again, guys.
Bye.